Hi everybody and welcome to a new vlog, and today I'm going to take you a little bit of a walk around of one of the parks here in Moscow. And I was going to take you to Gorky Park, but it's a little bit cold today to walk around there, and being that it's overcast and cloudy, it's not that much of an exciting walk around. So I'm going to walk to another park, which is actually the newest park in Moscow, and it's absolutely in the middle of the city and it's pretty cool. So we're going to first have a look at a little park on the way to the park. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but Russia, or particularly Moscow, is considered the city with the most parks in the world. Now based on that, you know, in terms of the whole region of Moscow, the amount of parks, green areas, and just general beautifulness. It's very cold. I'm sort of mixing my words here a little bit, but it is one of the most greenest cities in the whole world. So this is actually called Sculpture Park. Now I'm just going to see if I can swing the camera around in one go here. And it's actually a walking exhibit with statues that don't have a home around the center of Moscow. So this is actually Lenin right here. He's a quite famous Russian people, and this is Karl Marx. So these guys did a lot of good and bad at the same time. I'm not sure how to word it, so we'll just have a look at a couple of these. Now, I'd love to tell you this guy's name, but I don't know. But another statue right here, and it's basically a park of statues. Now it's a beautiful spot here. This is actually the park over from Gorky Park, and it's not very well visited, but there's some beautiful homes right here as well, very close by, and it's full of spare statues that don't have a home around Moscow. And there's some sculptures as well, and there's a little sculpture park over here as well, where they've left a whole lot of them all in sort of rows with signage on them, and you can have a walk around. And that's one of the museums here in Moscow right behind there too. But as we walk to this other park, I thought I'd point this out because it's really cool, and very, very few people know about this place. Brezhnev's portrait, 1981. It is super cold today. It's not snowing, it's just cold. Kozgin's portrait. Not sure who he is. There's another one of Lenin. Now Lenin's mausoleum, which you can actually visit, is right there in Red Square. I pointed that out on a previous video. And you can actually go there and see his entombed body, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'm going to walk to this other park via this park. So nice. It's basically the end of autumn now, and it's turning into winter, so all the trees are losing their leaves, and it's very nice to see all of the leaves everywhere, especially coming from the Caribbean and working on ships. It's definitely a different feel when you're here walking around in the parks in Moscow. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes away from the park that I wanted to show everybody. My lips have almost frozen, so I can hardly talk, sorry. But we're just crossing the Moscow River here. Hopefully I'm not walking too fast. But obviously, if you are familiar with any of the sites of Russia, that is the very famous Kremlin. And behind it is Red Square, and you can see the towers that make up the corners of the Kremlin. And not to be really mistaken about Russia, it is so beautiful, but there is also a lot of traffic here as well. Just behind us is the church Christ Our Savior, which is a really cool church to go inside. It's just huge inside, but yeah, never be mistaken about coming to Moscow. Walking around is very, very easy, but the traffic is very apparent in the center of Moscow today. Everybody's not so patient when it gets colder weather. Everyone wants to get somewhere, wants to get home. So I'll leave you the view of the Kremlin and we'll get to our park, shall we? I just decided to stop for lunch and I'm in the very famous GUM department store. Now famously on the 3rd level they have this cafeteria that basically only locals know about, but they serve lunch here. I'm having potato with butter and cabbage with sausage. I don't know the name of it, but now the funniest thing is it's kind of the most expensive shopping center in Moscow, and then they have this kind of takeaway cafeteria here where they serve the food, basically kind of a buffet style, and it's super cheap. So my whole meal cost me the whole of $3, and you can actually have kind of a lunch here and you can still be in the most expensive shopping center in the whole of Russia. So here we are at the park that I promised to show you guys. It's called Zaryadye Park, and it's right here in the center of Moscow. And if I spin around for a minute, this is actually a map of the place, which is great because it's in English and Russian. Now you'll get an idea of where we are. That's St. Basil's Cathedral right there, and then that's the Kremlin right there, and we'll go right the way around 360 degrees. We're actually going to see the river a little bit better in a few minutes, and the Moscow River is just over the back of this kind of Zaryadye Dome. So now the coolest thing is that we're going to go check out is this river overlook right here in the shape of a V. Now, one of the interesting things about the park is that it's the first park to be constructed in Moscow in 50 years. And Time magazine has declared it one of the #1 attractions in the world in 2018 to come and visit. The fact that it's actually in a city area is kind of the most amazing thing. It's separated into different landscapes, which probably isn't so noticeable in this kind of weather, but there's also there's an amphitheater, there's a music hall, cafes, restaurants. But to be the first park in Moscow in 50 years is quite a big deal. Now, if you want to know how much it cost, it was $480 million. So $500 million. So obviously Muscovites would better see their money spent in other ways. But the minute they come down to this park and be wowed by it. Now this is kind of the main entrance here, so it's not so amazing, but just the amount of sort of work going into building these. It used to be actually a hotel here called the Rossiya Hotel, and it kind of stood idle and closed, and it became sort of infamous, kind of, you know, the original kind of Soviet style hotel built right here nearby the Red Square. But it really is a modern feat. I mean, just again, $480 million for this park. So, which is just a staggering amount of money. And a lot of people coming to have a look, walk around. Everybody's rugged up because it's very cold today. It's not snowing, which is a bit of a shame because it'd be so beautiful here to see all the white of the park. But basically it's an overcast, kind of a typical November day in Moscow, really. So let's go and have a look at this bridge, shall we? And as we walk here along the first walk bridge, you can see now this sort of amazing bridge that hangs right over the Moscow River. So you can see if I point here, just here, you'll see how it's completely suspended over the river. And we're going to walk right out to that just there. So it's very cool today because it's lit up as well. We've come a little bit in the afternoon and we get a nice view from here. We're going to go right onto that bridge. Here we are on the walk bridge now, and it really is pretty cool. They've got this high glass kind of paneling here, so you get a completely unobstructed view. They've not kind of built anything that sort of blocks the view. So yeah, just hear a helicopter off in the distance there. A little bit of traffic still in Moscow. Now the kind of strangest thing for me is you kind of come and see all the beauty of Moscow, and just behind you see kind of a power station there with the steam vents letting out all of their, I don't know, let's say extraction. I don't know what they call that, but yeah, so we're actually walking here. Let's see, right over the highway as we walk along. So it's pretty cool. You don't really kind of get a feel of where you are as you're walking out until you get to this end part right here. So you can see there the amphitheater off in the distance, and then the kind of the direction we've walked here. So you can see there the road goes right underneath, and it stretches right out over the river. Let's keep walking and have a look. This spot really is the kind of selfie heaven out here. Everybody wants to come out and get selfies of themselves on the bridge. Instagram must be very overloaded from this spot, I think. Everybody comes here for photos. It's really a very cool spot. So if you haven't ever been out here, or you've actually kind of been to Red Square and the Kremlin area and then not walked across the road here, it's a bit of a shame not to have seen it. But it's, by the way, it's freezing cold. My hands, I'm going to have to put my gloves on soon because it's super, super cold. But there's such a nice view there of the Kremlin. A bit of reflection off this glass, but that's sort of okay. And then we're right literally suspended over the river. So if anything happens, we all hope we can swim. Otherwise, we're hanging over the bridge, over the river here. So let's keep walking around and we'll check out some more parts of the bridge, shall we? So I just thought I'd point out as I'm walking here on the bridge, it's just starting to lightly snow. So it's kind of funny today. It's sort of been overcast all day. And then this 5 minutes that we're walking out to see the bridge here, the snow is just starting to fall, but it's still very nice to come and check it out, I think. Hopefully you've got a good idea of the place. Yeah, it's super cold though. You kind of get the cold right off the river where we are here, so but it's still an amazing view, and you get to see a great sort of 360 degrees of Moscow right here. I came down to the street level now so you can get a good idea of this suspended bridge, which basically spans from the park right here directly over the river, and you can just see a few people walking at the top there, and of course traffic right here in that main center of Moscow. But it's very, very cool, this suspended bridge. So just again remember, $480 million the construction of this park. Built over the last 3 to 5 years, I guess, depending on who you ask about how long it takes to construct it. But it's pretty much a modern feat of man, this construction. It's a completely concrete structure that they built here. And here's the view from the amphitheater looking back over the park, and then looking then to St. Basil's Cathedral and the Kremlin, and yeah, pretty nice view, let me say. I imagine they host some sort of outdoor events here, probably not this time of year, but in summertime it would be pretty amazing. Yeah, it's a great view, let me say. And I'm glad I came up here, and I'm glad I came able to share it with everybody. So walking from the park right here, you can see right in front of us the St. Basil's Cathedral, and then on the left there is the Kremlin. You can see the red walls just off in the distance, and it's just lightly snowing, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of snow by tomorrow. Yeah, it's really kind of cool because this park is so close to where Red Square is, and then everybody kind of only has to walk across that street right there, right where that intersection is. So, and there we are, the park appears. So it had a lot of controversy when it was being built because people were upset about the price and the amount of money they spent doing it. But the end product is just amazing. And here we are right on Red Square now, and that's GUM right there. And another look back at St. Basil's. And another look at the walls of the Kremlin. And as we turn around here, you'll see just off behind those barriers is Lenin's mausoleum, just on the left. It's always fenced off, no matter when you come there. And here's a couple more still shots of the cathedral. And we're going to end with one more picture looking at the Red Square and the walls of the Kremlin. Okay everybody, so it's now the next day after we went to the park in Moscow, and kind of basically as I was going home last night, I forgot to film the last bit of the video. I like to do what's called an outro, which is this sort of thank you for watching part, and I'm just doing it now as I'm walking to the supermarket. It's much colder today, by the way, super cold, and it's been snowing a lot last night and this morning, so you'll see lots of white kind of behind me. So yeah, so I hope you like the walk around of the park in Moscow center. Zaryadye Park. I always forget the name of the park, even the next day I forget, sorry. Yeah, ooh, a little bit of hill to walk down here. Ooh, lots of ice on the paths where I'm walking at the moment. So yeah, so that park was really cool. That overhanging bridge is very, very cool. No cars coming. And then at the very beginning, of course, we were at the Monument Park, which was the park very close to Gorky Park. So yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I'm going to film some more while I'm still here in Moscow. So thanks for watching everybody. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, click subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you like watching the video, give us a comment, and share it to any of your favorite social media sites. Okay? A little bit of traffic here walking. So thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you later, and stay tuned for the next video on the channel. Bye!